This week on Charger Bulletin News, workers form a demonstration outside of Echlin Hall.
Hey everybody, Kayla Muchler here. You know, I love listening to music, and the university actually has their own record label. One band called Big Tuesday is signed to it, and I had the opportunity to sit down with them for an interview. You're going to want to check it out on Charger Bulletin News.
And an interview with USGA President-elect, right here on Charger Bulletin News. Hello and welcome to Charger Bulletin News. I'm Kayla Muchler.
And I'm Joe Claus. Let's dive into this week's stories.
Last Thursday, a group of cleaning service workers protested outside of Echlin Hall. Organizers were seen holding posters that read, UNH Fire DBS, or Diversified Building Services. One worker from the demonstration said the university holds a contract with Diversified Building Services. Workers under the cleaning company claimed they are abused through labor violations and sexual abuse. President Kaplan made a statement to the Charger Bulletin newspaper saying, "We are not aware that any of the allegations outlined by the protesters apply to the University of New Haven or any of our contracted services. The university does not and will not do business with any service provider who operates using unfair labor practices. We have no knowledge that this is the case with DBS and its employees, but will continue to investigate." As of now, the organizers have not heard from the university about their demands. You can read more about this story at chargerbulletin.com.
The university is on track to continue its green status streak. Here are the numbers. The number of positive cases has decreased by 6 since last week. The quarantine number has also decreased by 30. This number may fluctuate due to contact tracing. 36 students are currently in isolation, including those who elect to stay in university-sponsored isolation housing. The COVID-19 task force reminds all students, faculty, and staff to wear a mask, wash hands often, and maintain social distancing while on campus.
With the semester coming to a close, the last thing students want is to be placed into quarantine. Kelly Adkins dove into the process to make it seem a little less daunting.
Being placed in quarantine can both be physically and emotionally draining. I spent 11 days in it myself, and I'm here to share the ins and outs of the process for residential students and hopefully alleviate some anxiety about it.
Students who are exposed to a positive case are placed into a 10-day quarantine period starting from the first day of their contact. They are then notified via email and will be manually restricted on Co-Verified until their return to campus date. If someone within their household then tests positive during that time, the 10 days will reset. But there are food pickup options and wellness services offered daily to keep you healthy and sane. Quarantine students order their food in advance using an extensive form and can pick it up using a separate entrance of Food on Demand. Students can also make reservations at the designated quarantine gym located at the lower level of the North Campus Charger Gymnasium.
I also like that they allowed us to go outside for fresh air and to go to the gym, because I know that was something that a lot of people struggled with, not being able to leave the dorm.
Professors are notified of their status too, which excuses them from in-person classes. Quarantine students must take a Binax rapid test within 72 hours of their quarantine notification and a PCR test on day 5 at the Beckerman Rec Center.
As long as both of these tests are completed, students are free to return to the outside world on their return to campus date. Kelly Adkins, Charger Bulletin News.
The Dean of Students issued a statement in regards to the verdict of the Derek Chauvin trial. Dean Ophelia Rowe Allen states, "As an institution of higher learning, we have an important responsibility to think critically, to take part in difficult conversations, and to demand the accountability that makes us a more just society. The verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial gives us an opportunity to do just that. The trial and conviction of the former police officer in the murder of George Floyd raises serious questions for us to consider about policing, accountability, justice, community, and the all too frequent occurrences of violence and bias against Black and brown people in our country. As a result, the Courageous Conversations discussion about the Derek Chauvin trial has been moved to April 29th at 6 p.m. Check your student email for the Zoom link and more information."
And now Kayla Muchler sits down with USGA President-elect Sophia Martinez.
Hello, today I'm here with USGA President Sophia Martinez. This past year, Sophia has worked to strengthen the Charger community by promoting inclusion, kindness, and resilience. Her plans on continuing her work during her second term as USGA President. Welcome, Sophia. So, Sophia, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became USGA President?
Yeah, I could tell you both of the two times. So my name is Sophia Martinez. I am a junior studying communications. I came in as a forensic psychology major, did not stay. Hopefully I stay as a communications student. Yeah. I first ran for USGA President when I was literally at the end of my sophomore year. So I had approximately like 2 years under my belt before I decided, hey, why not? I ran again this year because I had 1 more year left remaining, and I thought, you know what, I have a really good chance of really creating something new and creating something different and leaving something better than how I found it. So here we are for another round of the USGA life.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. And for those who don't know, what do you do as USGA President?
Oversee everything, which it sounds so minimal when I say it in one sentence, but I oversee all the operations of USGA, and USGA does a lot. We oversee $1.7 million that we are legally accountable to, making sure that RSOs are able to program and engage, which is especially difficult during a COVID year. Student advocacy and student leadership is something that we had to really rely on this year, especially with everything happening COVID-19 related. There were a lot of students that were being left behind, whether that's because of their academics, financial, socially, mentally, and emotionally. We saw a rise in numbers and caps. So I oversee everything that includes, but a lot of that has to deal with meeting with administration, meeting with the Board of Governors, faculty, staff, anything that relates to the student experience, which is why we're here and making it better, because we're supposed to be advocating for you. Right,
of course. And why do you enjoy your position so much?
That's a great question. I think I enjoy it because it's an opportunity to do better. I've been here for 2 years and I've heard of stories about past USGA presidents and the legacy that they leave behind. And I think one of the things that I have specifically is I don't directly impact anything by myself. There are very few opportunities where me as an individual alone can impact something, but that's because I'm in a mentorship role and an overseeing role where me as one individual, I can only do so much, but I can use the knowledge that I have, the skills that I have, the experiences that I have, and give them to the executive board, give them to the Senate, give them to anybody who needs them to do better, because at the end of the day, one person can only do so much, an e-board of 8 people can only do so much, but if we help out our over 164 organizations, if we help out the 23 seats that we have on Senate, we're leaving a better campus behind, and I think that ripple effect is so enjoyable to see when it's used properly.
Yeah, of course. And what was this past year like in USGA?
It's definitely had its ups and downs. It's different this year because of Zoom, and usually it's a Friday afternoon, everyone's bringing their jasmines, and you have music playing. Angelo used to be dancing in the background somewhere, and it used to be a more lively time, and it's almost like we went into survival mode this year where we were on Zoom, and if you ask 100 college students to spend their Friday afternoon sitting on a Zoom call for 2 hours for student government, they're probably not the most inclined to be enjoying their time there. But even though we went to survival mode, we still built a community. So it's something I didn't think I was going to get this year. I got the president role on a Friday, and then Monday last year we got sent home. Yeah. So I learned really quickly it was going to be something I wasn't expecting, but it didn't mean I was up for a challenge. So it definitely was a challenge, but I'm happy we kept it together so we can keep thriving.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys did too, and hopefully there's better days ahead. And on that note, what do you hope to accomplish in the next year?
Oh, so much. I love the question if you had a chance to do it over again, would you? And I think the question is yes, and I have the ability to almost like reset. I have a new executive board, we have a new timeline, but I have an opportunity to learn from all the mistakes that I've made, mistakes that other people made, and mistakes aren't a bad thing. It means that you had the courage and the opportunity to fail. So now knowing where we went wrong, where we could have been better, I'm so it's almost like corny how excited I am to have the opportunity to do something different. I made a mistake, I learned from it, and we're pushing forward and we're moving forward. 2 things I want us to work on for next year is supporting our organizations a lot better. I felt how alone they were this year, and it was very hard to help them. I couldn't wish COVID away. I couldn't wish more money into their pockets. So I think for next year, we're in a really great opportunity to help them and support them, get the traditions that we miss on campus, try to get homecoming back, try to get our delivery nights back with grilled cheeses going wild in the library, stuff like that, and then student leadership. There's this really weird gap between our year where a lot of individuals were able to graduate early and a lot of individuals during their first year during COVID almost were left in this weird bliss of do they get involved or do they take care of themselves? And I'm not going to penalize anyone for taking care of themselves. So hopefully next year we get to build on student leadership. We get to awaken leadership in people because it comes in different sizes. It's not always USGA related. Sometimes it's Georgia Bulletin, sometimes it's Model MUN, sometimes it's RAs. So I'm hoping we just bring life back into the student leadership that we love here on campus.
Of course, and I hope that you and the rest of USGA gets to accomplish everything you guys want. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and I'm going to throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Kayla. We can't wait to see what Sophia does during her second term as USGA president. Now it's time for entertainment. Emily's here to give you the latest news in pop culture. What's new this week, Emily?
On Monday, HBO Max's Instagram account shared a picture of the first table read for the Game of Thrones prequel show, House of the Dragon. The HBO Max original is based on George R.R. Martin's new series, Fire and Blood, which takes place 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones, and tells the story of House Targaryen. House of the Dragon will premiere on HBO Max in 2022. On Tuesday, Billie Eilish announced that her second full-length album, Happier Than Ever, will release on July 30th, and its first single will drop Thursday morning. Eilish posted the album cover to Instagram with the caption saying, "This is my favorite thing I've ever created, and I'm so excited and nervous and eager for you to hear it." Eilish said that the music on this new album will reflect the long period of isolation and time away from touring. Happier Than Ever is now available for pre-order. On Sunday, the 93rd Annual Academy Awards were broadcast live on ABC. The ceremony was held in LA's historic Union Station in place of its normal venue at the Dolby Theater. Regina King opened the show with a short monologue in reference to the recent conviction of Derek Chauvin. She states, "We are mourning the loss of so many, and I have to be honest, if things had gone differently this past week in Minneapolis, I might have traded in my heels for marching boots." It was a big night for diversity when Chloe Zhao made history as the first woman of color and second woman overall to win the Oscar for Best Director for her film Nomadland. Also won the Best Picture and Best Actress in a lead role. Hugh Yo-jung, the 73-year-old South Korean actress, also won Best Supporting Actress for Minari. The most notable moment from the night was the category for Best Actor. The category was moved to the end of the show in hopes that the late actor Chadwick Boseman would win the award. The moment became rather awkward when Anthony Hopkins won the category for his performance in The Father. Sadly, Hopkins was unable to accept the award in person since he is high risk for COVID-19. The show had an abrupt ending by Joaquin Phoenix, and Hopkins later posted his speech to Instagram saying, "I did not expect to get this award, I really didn't." The show's ratings fell 56% in total viewers, with 10.4 million people watching. This was an all-time low, making it the smallest TV audience ever for the Oscars. I'm Emily, and that's entertainment. Back to you guys.
It's finally spring week, and students are enjoying the week by attending events all across campus. Here are some of the events you can attend before the week is through. Play Frisbee, kickball, foursquare, hula hoop, and more at Field Day. Grab some glow sticks and hang out at the After Dark Party. Dance the night away at Silent Headphone Disco. Enjoy four different food trucks at the Food Truck Festival. Have a laugh with comedian Trey Kennedy, where students can attend either in person or virtually. Design your own reusable bag with spin art, and watch Bring It On in the Bixler-Gerber Quad. Check your email for more details. Now, the university encourages all students to make responsible choices while celebrating the end of the school year. And Rain Records is the university's very own record label. One band signed to it being Big Tuesday. Just released a new single. Kayla Muchler has the story.
Have you ever been to University Student Hall? It's actually an old church that was renovated to be a space that students can use and classrooms. One band that's actually signed to the university's record label, Rain Records, rehearses here, and their name is Big Tuesday. On April 27th, they released a new single called Rendezvous off of their upcoming EP, For You. Big Tuesday is made up of 4 sophomore friends: Elisa Browell on lead vocals and rhythm guitar, Lee Jones on drums, Bobby Husekamp on bass, and Sean Tierney on lead guitar. Husekamp and Tierney were roommates who would, as they put it, jam together, who met Jones during Audio Engineering Society. They decided to start a band and later heard Browell singing in the stairwell, and the rest is history. But how did they get their name?
Bobby asked me to be a part of the band. It was like a week later, and we were just shooting around band name ideas. And then I just typed a bunch of random words together, and Big Tuesday was one of them.
And they've been working ever since.
I think just within like the last like almost coming up on 2 years this fall, we've just been like working on like solidifying originals, and like our main project is to do that.
Rendezvous came out of a natural experience, where one day at rehearsal they started playing around and came up with a riff.
I'd say 2-ish weeks later, Bobby and Sean were actually in quarantine in their building. So Elise and I had to write the lyrics in our building. And it was a fun process. I think we did it in like a day or two.
Make sure to check out Big Tuesday on all streaming platforms and listen to Rendezvous. You can also follow them on Instagram at The Big Tuesday. I'm Kayla Muchler, Charger Bulletin News. I hope you're collecting Charger Bucks. The Office of Residential Life is hosting a virtual Charger Bucks event to celebrate the end of the year. In the coming days, all residential students in the Charger Bucks program will receive an email with information about the event. Students will also receive a Zoom link to the event, information on how to submit your Charger Bucks, and information on how many Charger Bucks you've earned. Check out the Office of Residential Life's Instagram at UNew Haven Res Life to get a sneak peek at some of the prizes. The live event will live stream on Friday, April 30th at 11:30 a.m. And now, Joe brings you his weekly sports update.
What's going on, guys? Sports is coming remotely from Orange Hills Country Club here in Orange, Connecticut. So let's get right into Charger sports. Tennis hosts their quarterfinals round of the playoffs today at 1 o'clock when they travel to Bentley, Mass to have their first round of the playoffs. Tune in at 1 o'clock to see that. Lacrosse will be in the playoffs on Friday after their big 13-0 win over Pace on Monday night. Lacrosse is waiting to see who they're going to play, but it's the first round of Northeast 10 Conference playoffs, so make sure to tune in and support the ladies when you can. Baseball's coming off of a split series against crosstown rival Southern Connecticut this past weekend, and they host AIC today with first pitch coming at 3 o'clock in the doubleheader. And lacrosse is coming off of a big 4-game sweep of AIC as they head into their series against Southwest Division Pace this weekend, starting on Friday with another doubleheader on Saturday. First pitch will come at 3 o'clock. So I'm enjoying my golf course. Back to you guys in the studio. Have a great day.
The Accessibility Resources Center is opening applications for the Fall 2021 Dream Transition Program. Dream Ambassadors will assist the transition program designed for students who self-identify with a disability. Dream Ambassadors have the opportunity to connect with incoming students, gain leadership experience, volunteer with ARC, and assist with yearly programming. Students who apply must be available for training during the week of August 9th and for Dream Transition programs on August 12th and 13th. To apply, check out the latest news section on Charger Connection. After completing your application, email Michael Prevette to submit your 3 recommendations. Applications are due by May 30th.
Students living off campus have to pay rent, groceries, and utilities, but there is another cost: car repairs. Cameron Haley investigated commuters' experience with the roads around campus and how they think the city of West Haven is dealing with the issue.
One of the issues often overlooked when deciding to move off campus is the roads you'll be taking every day to get to your classes. Like many other New England states, Connecticut, and West Haven included, suffers from potholes, especially after the winter season. The town is taking some steps to clean up some of these potholes. However, many of the roads still have potholes large enough to cause issues for drivers.
Every time I go home, I have to realign my car's tires because the potholes are so deep. No matter how slow you go over them, the alignment moves.
Some costs that can add up for commuters could be tire alignment repairs or tire replacement. This Volkswagen here actually had its tire replaced because of a pothole by Stop and Shop. Had to have the 2 front tires replaced, and it cost around $300. West Haven has done some road work on main roads such as First Avenue and very recently on West Main Street. However, many residential roads still lack the same type of maintenance so far. To some commuter students, roads being full of parked cars by residents may be delaying any roadwork.
Like, all these roads are always cluttered with cars and like everyone parking on the side of the street, and no one has enough room in their driveways usually, or people just don't want to park in the driveways.
When roadwork began on First Avenue, this very issue led to severe damages to a commuter's car due to the increased traffic on the detour road at the time.
My car got hit last semester because there was construction on First Ave. They had it blocked off, so Second Ave, where I live, was a detour road. And yeah, my car got hit in the middle of the night and it got totaled.
Currently, there are no plans on the City of West Haven website about cleaning potholes, besides residents just reporting them to the city. And after reaching out to the Public Works office, we received no response on the issue. For Charger Bulletin News, I'm Cameron Haley.
Finals start next week. Take a break from studying and attend the annual Midnight Breakfast, hosted by University Dining Services. Following COVID-19 guidelines, Midnight Breakfast will be divided into 3 separate days and sectioned by time slots. This is a grab-and-go style event. Students will not be allowed to sit down and eat in the dining area. The event will take place from 8 to 10 p.m. on May 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the Bartels Marketplace. Students can sign up through Charger Connection. Pre-registration is required for this event.
The end of the semester is right around the corner. Tell your professors about your experience by completing your course evaluations. Students can find their course evaluations forms in Canvas or by checking their university email. Responses are both confidential and anonymous, and all evaluations will be collected by the university's Office of Institutional Research. Once grades are all posted, student responses will be summarized and reported to your faculty. Surveys close on May 13th and take 5 minutes to complete.
Well, that's all the time we have this week. Thank you so much for making Charger Bulletin News part of your week. We will be taking a hiatus during the summer break and will return next fall.
You can check out the latest edition of the Charger Bulletin newspaper on chargerbulletin.com, and make sure to pick up our final edition on newsstands on Tuesday.
Stay up to date by following us on social media at Charger Bulletin. Thanks for tuning in.
And thank you to our producers, Jada Clark, Nick Meany, and the entire Charger Bulletin crew.
I'm Joe Claus.
And I'm Kayla Muchler. We hope you have a wonderful summer, and we'll see you next time on Charger Bulletin News.